morning everyone, and welcome back, or welcome here if this is your first time. I am Nicole and this is my channel Let Knit Be So. Yeah, I'm back this week with another Friday Sews to chat about everything that I've been getting up to, from mostly sewing. There is a tiny bit of knitting content this week as well, but yeah, just share with you what I've been up to over the past week since my last video. Yeah, thank you to everyone who subscribed and left a comment. There were some nice comments welcoming me to posting, so that was very nice, so thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, because yeah, this is still very new and I'm sure I will be, gradually improving. I'm not a natural public speaker, so I do apologise if there's lots of ums and ahs that I can't always cut out when I'm editing, but you learn by doing, right? Okay, so to kick things off with what I'm wearing, I'm actually wearing the same pattern as I wore last week. So this is another jean t-shirt from Ready to Sew, in another viscose jersey, and I think, yeah, I got this at the same time as the jersey that I got in the one I was wearing last week, so it's from Sew, although I have definitely seen this fabric in a number of other online fabric shops, but yeah, it's this like quite dark royal blue background with all of these like specks and yeah, sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like petal scatter, I guess, but yeah, and yeah, just my standard, again, sewing the cuff as a cuff rather than a roll up, jean t-shirt, and I'm just wearing some shop bought jeans with it. You can't see right now. So yes, that's so you can tell that it's definitely a tried and true pattern of mine, is that I have quite a lot of these and I wear them very regularly, which is, I think, what we're all trying to do with our handmade wardrobe, is to make sure that we're making things that we're going to wear and that we're going to get use of, and that they're not going to just sit in the wardrobe not getting any love after we've worn them. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. So last week I told you that my next plan was to do a wearable toile of the Nell Blouse as part of my yeah, trying to get some more woven patterns that can go into my tried and tested bucket of resources. And so the Nell Blouse was another one that I picked out after sewing the fleur, and that I had some viscose that was had been in stash for a long time to do a wearable toile of that, before I made that with any other fabric, just to check the size and the fit, etc. So made a fair bit of progress on that. This is going to be hard to hold up because it does actually have pins in it at the moment, but let's see if I can do it without causing too much chaos. So here we are. I'll just stab myself. So I have finished the bodice, so it's got a facing. I'm going to have to figure out how I sew this down a bit, because obviously the fleur blouse has the bias binding around the neckline. This is a facing, and whilst you have like secured it at the shoulder seams, this is still really annoying, so I'm gonna have to think about what I do with that. But yeah, so I'm at the point now where, let's show you all my pins. Yeah, so I have pinned the sleeve into the armhole, so I'm making the puffball sleeve version, which means I've got this this double sleeve situation at the moment. So this is the outside of the sleeve, and this is the lining that is going to go inside. So I've got to sew the main sleeve into the armhole, and then also the lining into the armhole to create the puffball. So that's where I'm at. And then after I've done that, all I think I have to do is hem it and sort out what fastenings. I've cut out the ties, but in the fleur the ties are like just for show, like they're just on the outside, they're not actually tying it up. So if you do the ties, you have to use snaps on the inside as your thing that's actually stopping you from revealing yourself to the world. And I need to check. I think I did have some, but I don't know that I necessarily have enough. So I'm gonna have to go and check what I do have. And then maybe if I don't have enough, I might just put some buttons on it, because like I say, this is a wearable toile. And I'm not necessarily worried about having the ties on it. I wanted to check more the fit of the bodice, the fit of the sleeves, see how the puffball sleeve went together with this version. So I won't be mad if I don't have enough snaps at the moment to make use the ties I've cut out, you know. That's just one of those things. But yeah, I'm very happy with it, so it's back. And yeah, I'm hopefully by next week I will have finished it and have a finished object to show you. Okay, speaking of finished objects, I do have one, but it's going to look really, it's not going to look like I've made anything out if I show it to you on camera. So yeah, my mum had asked me to make some cushion covers for her, because my parents had decorated their living room and she was having a bit of trouble, you know, finding something that she liked that went with the colours they'd chosen. So we picked out some quilting cotton. So I've just made two big squares that I promise that to prove it is a cushion cover. It has a zip, but it is just a big square. So these are very quick to make, and yeah, I don't have the cushion inserts here. They're with my mum, so when I do eventually give them to her, probably in a couple of weeks, I'll try and take a picture of them on the cushions and finished. But yeah, that was a super quick make. She's also asked me, literally just before I came on to film this, if there was any fabric left over, which there was. It was like just under a metre. And she's asked if I can make something to put on one end of the sofa to like protect it, because it's the end that's like nearest the window. And obviously, you know, if you have fabric exposed to light that on a regular basis, it can fade. So if anyone has any like suggestions of what I can do there, that would be most welcome. I know you can get those things that kind of go over the arms of your sofa that have like a pocket in, you know, and some people like keep their remote, or some people like keep their, you know, if they're a crafter, they keep like their, you know, cross-stitch scissors or something in there. So, but yeah, I don't really know what to Google to get ideas for that. So yeah, that one might take a bit of puzzling, but yeah, I've got like just under a metre of quilting cotton left in the same fabric. So yeah, that's that. If you watched last week, you remember I talked about wanting to do some bag making, and I haven't actually made any start on any of the bags that I was talking about, and the main reason for that is I think probably it's one of those things that once you get doing it on the regular, you build up a stash, I guess I want to say, but in comparison to like sewing and the supplies that you need like on a regular basis for sewing garments, bag making, there just needs to be so many bits and pieces, and you think you have everything, and then, you know, I went and reread the pattern for the oxbow tote, and then I also found a video by I think her name's Anna, who's behind Noodlehead Patterns, showing, you know, various samples and talking about interfacing and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't think I've necessarily got quite the right supplies for doing the oxbow tote. So if you remember, one of the fabrics that I picked out was this quilting cotton, which is going to be fine for the exterior, as in like the side panels, with some fleece interfacing put on it for structure, so it's not too floppy. But when I was looking at her samples, I was like, I don't think this is going to work for the base. I went and ordered some waxed cotton from Country Cow Designs. This feels like a, I don't know, it feels like a book. Like, it's so stiff. But yeah, I just got this you know, sort of darkish tan brown colour, because I thought that was a good colour that would go with like most other things. So I think, you know, if I hold them up next to each other, you know, that's going to be nice for, not that you obviously see too much of the bottom of the bag because it'll probably be on the bottom. But there's also like a pocket that I could do this in if I wanted to as well. So yeah, so I bought that when I was on their website. They also had another release of their printed coated water resistant cottons, which I showed you one of last week when I was talking about making the mini backpack. And yeah, when I saw this print I was like, oh, I can't resist, and they only do like short runs of those prints, so I didn't want to miss out. So I've got 1/2 meter of this one, which is covered in race cars. Now, I mentioned last week I was talking about you know, I was making the backpack to go to football, and one of my other big sports that I enjoyed is the Formula 1 and motorsport in general. So yeah, I really couldn't pass up this one. Obviously it's not, you know, these are just random colours, they're not done to look like exactly like the actual Formula 1 cars, but yeah, I couldn't resist it. So I don't know what bag it will be, but yeah, I couldn't resist that one as well, to add to my yeah, fabrics that will eventually be bags. The other plan that I wanted to show, just because, yeah, as you've seen, I'm very close to finishing the Nell, and obviously I'll see how I feel about that, how I feel about the fit, and whether it's something that I want to continue making or I need to adjust in some way, etc. But yeah, I really want to get some more woven stuff into my wardrobe, because I do, you know, have in the past made quite a lot of jersey things, and so I've got another blouse pattern that I want to try, which I've seen so many people make in the sewing community and look really awesome, and that is the Anna Allen Anthea blouse. And again, I've got another remnant that I want to use as the wearable toile for this. So that's this really pretty, the sort of background is like a light kind of turquoisey colour, and it's got these purple and blue leaf prints on. I got this from Lamazi Fabrics. If it was a remnant, I'll have a look and see if they still have it on their website as like by the meter, and if it is, I will put a link in the comments box. But yeah, this is going to be the next toile of a blouse pattern, because yeah, whilst I love sewing with jersey, I love wearing these t-shirts obviously, but you know, I do want to have a mixture, and I do want to, you know, have that variety in my wardrobe, particularly, you know, if I need to be a bit smarter depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going, etc. So yeah, that is the next blouse toile plan on the horizon. The final thing I have to show you is my knitting. So this channel is called Let Knit Be So, which therefore implies that I am a knitter, and yes, I do knit. Been knitting for quite a while. You know, I started off just doing fairly, you know, scarves and stuff, so it's, you know, only probably, I guess, over the last maybe 8 years or so that I've really been, you know, making like more complicated like garments and things. And so yeah, my current WIP I am struggling with. So I decided, after seeing you know, being inspired by ready to wear stuff, there's been a lot of like cotton, more like sort of jacket style cardigans that look a bit like, some of them look a bit like the kind of Chanel jackets, but they're like knitted, or some of them look kind of like crochet but they're knitted, and yeah, a summer kind of cardigan, made in cotton, and I decided that rather than buying one in the shop, I wanted to make my own. So I picked pattern. Ironically, ironically for the colour I'm knitting in, the pattern that I chose is called Neon by Joji Locatelli, and her version is, as you might guess, knit in bright neon pink. But yeah, like I say, I wanted a, like, you know, a summer cardigan, something that would go with anything, like a neutral cardigan. So I went for some cream cotton yarn. And the thing about cotton yarn is I just don't particularly like knitting with it that much, particularly, you know, for something as big as a cardigan. Like, it doesn't glide as nicely off the needles as like merino wool and other things do. It's a bit, you know, I find it kind of tough on my hands, so I think, you know, that's one reason why it's you know, been taking me a long time, because I started this a good number of months ago now, and probably could and should have finished it before now. I say that like I finished it, I haven't finished it. But I have finished a sleeve, which had taken me just a ridiculous amount of time. I finished that the other night whilst I was watching the Olympics. So let's see if I can show it to you. So this is the cardigan. You know, this is a terrible way to show you a cardigan. I'll try and insert some pictures that will give you a better idea. But hopefully you can see it's this all over like textured stitch. It's called tulle stitch, and it's just this nice open like lace work. So, you know, to the untrained eye, you know, someone might think it looked crocheted. You know, it's definitely got that summer vibe. So yeah, it's a whole cardigan at the bottom. But yes, I finished the sleeve the other night, so I've started on the second one, which is obviously only in its baby sleeve, and because apparently you have to do 2 sleeves and they have to be the same, still got a way to go. And then the only other thing I'd have to do is, like, there's a neckband that will go around, you know, all of this edge and down the front, and I've got some like gold buttons to put on it. So in theory there is not that much to do, but yeah, it's just been one of those things that has now become very much about wanting the end product but not really feeling much enjoyment from the process of getting there, which, you know, it sometimes happens, and it tends to happen more with knitting than sewing, because things just, you know, adult garments just take that much longer to knit than they do to sew. So yeah, but hopefully I will finish it before the end of the summer, but if not, then it, you know, it can probably last a little bit into the early autumn, but then obviously it can then just be packed away with the summer things and come out, you know, this time next year. But yeah, I did just want to include a little bit of knitting content, as it is in the title of my channel name. Okay, that's everything that I have to show you about what I've been up to and working on in terms of creative stuff. In terms of what's going on for me otherwise, it's much the same as it was last week. Obviously it's the second week of the Olympics, so yeah, actually I think I need the Olympics to be over so that I, you know, catch up on some other things. Otherwise I think I'm going to be very behind on watching like all the sewing YouTubers that I usually watch, you know, of an evening, because of, yeah, just been watching the Olympics. But yeah, otherwise not too much exciting, or no exciting weekend plans, alas. Yeah, probably just watching the Olympics. Probably should, you know, do some cleaning and tidying around the place. And yeah, I think this time of year, because obviously it's the school holidays, so a lot of things like, you know, attractions and going out to places tends to be a lot busier than it is at other times. That kind of dissuades me from wanting to go and do certain things. So I've actually You know, I really like going to museums and art galleries, but yeah, I just don't want to fight my way into you know, the busy parts of London where all the museums are at this moment. So but I've been putting myself together a little list of places that I'd like to visit, some exhibits that are on at a few places. So yeah, as soon as September hits and everyone goes back to school, I'm going to be cracking my way through that list. So there's a couple of things on at the V&A that I want to go and see, have a membership for the V&A so I can go to those paid exhibitions whenever I want. I don't have to book or pay extra. So there's those. There's also an exhibition at the Fashion and Textile Musician about Bieber. So I think that one is only on until maybe like the end of the first week in September. So that's like one of the first ones on my list to go and have a look at that. And yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces. There's another one that's it's split between a couple of houses. I think it's called Out Shopping, and it's various like dresses from, I'm gonna say Victorian times, but that may be completely wrong. I will put a link in there. So it's in two houses that are called Leighton House and Sanborn House, and yeah, it's just an exhibition of some of the clothing. So yeah, that's on my list. There's also a Barbie exhibition at the Design Museum, which I'd like to check out. And there's probably some other. Oh, I've got tickets for the Van Gogh exhibition at the National Gallery in September as well. So yeah, September is going to be my month of hitting all of the galleries and exhibitions once there's no once everyone isn't in London trying to go to all of the museums. Yeah, all right, that's all I have to share with you to catch up on my sewing and what's been going on for me and what my plans are over the next week and month or so. Yeah, thank you again so much for watching. As again everyone says, please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and click the subscribe button if you want to be notified the next time that I post a video. I think probably at the moment it will be mostly Friday sews, so doing a once a week catch up. But yeah, I do have some other thoughts about videos that I could film, and if there is anything that you'd like to see, you know, please do feel free to leave a comment and let me know, because yeah, otherwise it's just me talking about what I think you want, you know, the internet wants me to talk about, and I might be very wrong on that. So yeah, please do leave me a comment if there's something that you would like to hear about. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely Friday and a lovely weekend, and I will see you again next time. Bye.